Let's talk about the cocktail menu. We believe very strongly that no menu should be food only, no menu should be beverage only, but rather all menus should offer all options to all people. Now, whether or not you choose to match cocktails to food on your menu is entirely your call. But on your food menu, there should be listings of wine, of beer, of spirits, of cocktails, and non-alcohol beverages. And on your beverage menu, your food menu should be attached. There needs to be a connection. Today, it has become de rigueur. You absolutely cannot open a restaurant without a cocktail menu. Got to have a cocktail menu, which is so cool, because some of us in this room have been working a long time to get people to do that. What I would suggest to you is this. We're going to talk more about this, but every bar, every restaurant should focus on having a signature drink, a signature cocktail, which David is going to take more elaborately in just a few moments. What I suggest to you is that you really think about the kind of place that you're working. That drink needs to represent your place. Your cocktail menu should be, quite frankly, worked within the theme of whatever your establishment is. If you're a restaurant, the first place you look is at the menu, and the first person you talk to is the chef. Get the chef involved. You want to make food and beverage work together and cross-market it? The first step is getting the front and the back. God, I hate those words. Front of house and back of the house. Get them to communicate. And the best way to communicate is to make everybody feel like they got a vested interest in everything that happens. And the best way to do that is get the chef involved with what you're doing out front. Eventually, they'll realize that it works both ways. Think about what they're doing. Look at what's coming in every day. Look at the purchasing list. Look at the menu and look at the spices, the herbs, the fruits, the vegetables, the flavors that are on that menu, and start to embrace them and represent them in your menu. Do things that are creative, but use the things that the kitchen is using and incorporate them into your cocktails so that they start to feel like the menu. And when looking for original cocktails, go back to the basics, people. We have gone so far out on the deep end. You do not need 37 ingredients in a cocktail to make it interesting. You need about 3, maybe 4 or 5. Regardless, you got to produce it at volume, so you got to have a number of steps. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. I'm giving you the overview. What I suggest that you do is look at your customer that's coming in and look at the customer that you wish was coming in. Look at your neighborhood. Look at the ambiance. Take all of this into consideration, and then when you make your cocktail list, look at the classics as your guide. And make variations on the classic cocktail themes and make them fit within the theme of your restaurant. Does that make sense?
Size, theme, production. Size, theme, production. It's no different than the kitchen. You got to order to the menu. You have to have the tools for the menu. You got to have the training to the menu. And those things have to be ongoing. There's got to be a chef. You got to look at the drinks out in the dining room, see if they're coming to the table the way they're supposed to. Because it's really, in the end, the bartender's job to make sure that those drinks look right. And even though the waiter, you got to command those waiters. Like I said about the old-fashioned the other day, a waiter's going to take that old-fashioned and top it up with soda. Yikes! There goes the drink. So those parts of it, I think, are really, really critical.
If like a restaurant, comes to you, or if it's your restaurant, whatever, you say you want to do a new cocktail list, the first thing I always think of is a signature drink. And the signature drink is going to be the thing right on top of the menu that says, this is who this bar is. This is, if it's a restaurant, it has to fit the theme of the restaurant. It has to kind of reflect the ideals of it in some way, as much as a cocktail can reflect ideals. It has to reflect the boldness of it, the philosophy of it. It also is a prime opportunity to build attention for the place. So this is not the place to put your most subtle, let's say, kind of insider's drink. This is the place to put something that people are going to go, what the hell? What are people drinking there? And then, kind of after that, think, hey, that's pretty good, and let me tell my friend about it, and then the media will come in, and you'll get a little bit of coverage for having your cocktail program. I always like to do a short list, like Dale said. If it's a place that's primarily a restaurant, you might want to do 8 cocktails. That's enough. you don't really need to do more. If it's going to do more bar business, you might want to bump it up to 12, and if it's primarily a bar, then you need a couple more than that. But you want it so that you're not going to overwhelm the staff with training. You're not going to overwhelm the bar with weird bottles of things. And you're not going to, above all, overwhelm the customer with too many choices. But as going along with that, that means what you have there has to be balanced. You have to balance this list between classic drinks, and that gives people a benchmark when they walk into your place and say, and so they can see where you're coming from. If you've got like, a Sazerac, an old-fashioned, and some other dark spirit drink, that are kind of heavy drinkers' drinks, they'll see that. Or if you've got like some tropical classics on there, they'll see you're coming from there. So it gives them a place to start on the list, and you can put your own twist on it, but I try not to go too far out on those. I try to make them just a little bit carefully chosen brands, maybe a little slight bit of individuality, but nothing to really make people think that you're playing fast and loose. So you need classic drinks, you need new drinks also. You want drinks with light spirits and dark spirits, not like the distributor drinks with the vodka, flavored vodka all the way down the line. I've seen so many menus like that. Sounds, you want the kind of the butch drinks. You also want some of the more ladylike. I know that's not, I don't mean ladies' drinks, because I know a lot of men who drink ladies' drinks and a lot of ladies who drink men's drinks. But that kind. You want some that are a little softer and sweeter, and you want some that are a little more spirit heavy and have a little bite to them, just so that you can pull in everybody. Crazy drinks and normal drinks. You want a couple drinks that just make people say, what is going on here? This is weird, and this is cool. I've never heard of this technique, this thing, whatever. It can be as simple as the flamed orange twist, right? That's that will cause people to pay attention. And then you want some others that are just seem right down to earth and right down the line. So there's a lot of things that you have to juggle, but you can, with care, put together an 8-drink list that will cover all those bases. You have one drink kind of filling each slot, and each one's doing double duty. And before you know it, you've got a balanced list that doesn't have to be very long, and that will have a completely different drinking experience for each drink, and yet they will fit the theme of the place. It's not easy. You can't just do it at random. You have to put some thought into it. Also, one thing I always like to do on a cocktail list is write a sentence or so under each drink. This helps people who are coming in, especially if the place is crowded, before they even reach the bartender, they have an idea of what they want to order. They've read the little list. They can be a little bit humorous. You can put a little bit of wit into them. But they will also kind of give people a little bit of the background, the culture of each drink. It doesn't have to be a historical thing. It can talk about whatever, who invented it. It can be the taste of the drink, the color of the drink, some comment on the drink to get people started thinking about it. And it helps them to order, helps them to get located on your cocktail list and know where you're coming from. And the other thing I always say, being a writer, have a writer look it over. Writers will work for peanuts. Get somebody who will come in. There's probably one hanging out at the corner of your bar. Give them a couple drinks and have them proofread your list. That is really, really important, because otherwise you can have the best list in the world, and if it's riddled with typos and misspellings and bad grammar, you'll come off as a dope.
In my opinion, every cocktail menu should have one non-alcoholic cocktail on it to let people know that you can do that for them. And then it opens, I wouldn't put more than one, just one to let them know, hey, we can do this for you, we'll take care of you. You don't have to drink alcohol in my bar to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very important to make that statement. Which cocktails you choose, house cocktails, signature cocktails, how many cocktails, how many spirits, these are all decisions that you have to make based upon your establishment. But the bottom line is clear. In today's world, a cocktail menu is essential.